Hey guys, so in today's video I wanted to address a comment that was left recently on a video that I posted a while back, a few years ago probably. So the video that this comment was left on is titled, "What do CNAs chart on?" And I'm going to read you this person's comment and then I will address it. So this is from @moonpeach6693. And the question is, how often do you chart? Every 2 hours? So technically, the best way to chart is to be able to chart something as you are doing it. So like say you go and you change Mrs. Johnson. The best way to do it is, if you're able to chart that you changed Mrs. Johnson when you changed Mrs. Johnson. However, there have been numerous times working in skilled nursing facilities or even in assisted living where the night has just been crazy, and so I've been able to chart like way later, almost towards the end of my shift. So what I do when that happens, when I'm not able to chart right away, is I do keep a little notebook usually, or I did when I was working as a CNA. I would keep a little notebook in my scrub pocket, and I would have like each room number, because normally where I worked, we didn't have more than one person per room. So I would write down each room number that I was assigned to, and I would put little like different shapes for different things. So I believe when I would change somebody, it would be like a C. If I had to do certain like repositioning, I would usually put like a little star, something like that. So then it was something that I knew what it was, and then if I wasn't able to chart right away, I would be able to go later and see what I did for each room. I don't recommend charting that way, simply because it's very easy to forget what you've done, especially if it's so crazy that like call lights are going off all over the hall. There's like a million and one things going on all at once. It is very easy to forget what you've done, forget what you did for this person, confuse one person for the next person, and then you're not really charting what is, like, you're not charting accurately, is the point of that. So what you should do, if you're able to, like when I worked on night shift, there were plenty of nights where I was able to go through like a whole round of people, which usually I would go and check on like fall risks and things like that as often as I could. It was way more than every 2 hours. Usually they were every like 15-20 minutes, depending on the level of confusion and the level of fall risk. Sometimes it was more. Sometimes I would have like my little table and chair sitting like somewhere close to their room so that I could hear if they were trying to get up or something like that. Since the facilities that I worked at, we were not allowed to use like bed alarms or things like that because it was considered a restraint. So yeah, but I would do rounds every 2 hours at a minimum. Technically, there were supposed to be rounds done on them every hour. 1 hour it would be CNAs. The next hour it was supposed to be nurses, but at certain facilities there were nurses that would not do like anything other than sit behind the nurses station all night long, watch YouTube videos, listen to music, talk on the phone, whatever. I've talked about that in numerous videos, some of the issues that I had with nurses at different facilities. But as far as charting, like I would try, especially on night shift, I found it was easier with charting. I would go through a whole round. I would keep my little notebook, mark off what I did for every person, and then I was able to go and chart that round. I know there were a lot of people where I worked who would literally just chart once per shift and wouldn't go back. Like if they changed them 3 times or more, they would only chart that they changed them once, which I would go in and chart every single time that I changed them, because that is accurate. If you're only charting that you changed somebody once, then that doesn't look good on your part, because you're supposed to be, you know, if it's somebody that you know is a heavy wetter and it's somebody that other people are charting that they changed them like 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 times during an 8-hour shift, and you're going and you're checking that you only changed them once, that really doesn't look good on you, and it definitely does not look accurate when they compare the charting from different people. So I would say chart as often as you're able to. If you're able to chart as it's happening, like, I know that's very hard, but if you're able to chart as you do something, that is the best and most accurate way to do it. However, I know that that's not always possible, so, you know, it is what it is. But that would be my advice. At a minimum, I did rounds every 2 hours. Again, if somebody was confused or a huge fall risk, I would check on them more often, just because I wanted to make sure that they were safe. Most of my time spent working in nursing facilities was night shift and evening shift. Every once in a while I would work day shift, but a majority of my time was spent on nights and evenings. So it just kind of depended on the facility and their needs. But I found night shift to be the easiest as far as like charting goes, because I felt like I had more time to chart accurately and there wasn't as much going on that I needed to kind of like divert my attention in a million different places, if that makes sense. So anyways, I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys got some knowledge out of it. If you guys have any other questions or topics you'd like me to address in a future video, please be sure to let me know and I'd be glad to get something filmed for you. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys next time.